for tomorrow. That's July 19 at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. The conference, themed Rebuilding Together with Our Values, is expected to address major constitutional reforms, including proposals to abolish the current electoral college system and transition towards a one-member, one-vote model by 2028. With over 5,500 delegates expected to attend, the gathering will serve as the party's supreme decision-making body, deliberating on amendments aimed at enhancing internal democracy, grassroots inclusion, and party unity following the NPP's 2024 electoral defeat. In all, about 50 proposed amendments on the cards for consideration, with the major ones being the expansion of the electoral college and the proposal for early Congress to elect a flag bearer for the 2028 elections. We're going to run you through some of the details contained in the proposal as we have it now, and you're going to see that on the screen on Facebook at 3FM927, also on YouTube. And these are the proposals: the abolition of the delegate system of choosing officers and candidates for all card-bearing members in good standing. That's a proposal by Boache Jaku, one-time flag-bearer hopeful of the parties, indicated that, quote, we need to have an expanded participatory nominating process based on the experiences in recent elections. He says the party must come to the understanding and believe that the voters, when giving the choice, will ultimately make better choices than any outside group, individual, and then also other persons in terms of the set of operations or activists. Kwabena J. Japong, who is a former general secretary of the party, one-time flag-bearer hopeful as well, he's also been making proposals that the presidential primary should be organized first with an expanded electoral college. Special college used to trim aspirants to 5 should be abolished. He also makes the point that to reduce tension associated with the numerous elections the party conducts at various levels ahead of the presidential candidates election, it is proposed that the presidential primaries be held first after the expansion of the electoral college. So that's his position on this matter. That's been really contentious going into tomorrow, the decision and the proposal to have the election of the flag bearer on the 31st of January. Well, Peter McMahon as well, was the former chair of the party. He says that abolishing delegate system of choosing officers and candidates for all card-bearing members in good standing is one that also he has expressed his view on, together with Gary, Evans Nimakon as well, who is the director of elections for the NPP. Now, they've indicated that the special college pair, the composition of the delegates makes it not representative enough and delays the conduct of the presidential primaries, cause inefficiencies also to the party, and has not served the purpose of minimizing under contestation. So that's one of the matters as well that the party would be dealing with going into tomorrow. And also there's been the proposal by the National Council of Elders that all the National Council of Elders members shall vote in all national elections. So this consists past presidents, vice presidents, and past national chairmen will be inducted into the National Council of Elders. And then also they make the proposal that the National Council of Elders must not support or be seen to favor any candidate, and mandatory quarterly meetings should be held with the presidential candidate, the flag bearer, or the president if they win power. Also, a number of proposals that have come through from the presidency for that matter. That is the flag bearer. If eventually becomes president, they are proposing that there should be mandatory quarterly meetings with the president. That is, if the NPP wins and when they are in power, there should be that National Council of Elders quarterly mandatory meeting. We'll see how that plays out as well. So these are the issues that is going to be topical for the conversation ahead of tomorrow, and it's one that we're keeping our eyes on here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. One other issue as well that has been of major concern has been the reaction of the former president John Ejekum Kufuor to the effect that he felt sidelined. Take a listen to him.
So Ghana political party, political history. You can't say UGCC. But if you 47, 69 was there. Time, nearly power for Ghana. 2 years, 3 months, was there time. Me, 69, my 30 years, and be a member of parliament. Be a founding member of Progress Party.
That's the former President John Agyekum Kufuor there. And this particular statement got some reactions and responses as well from members within the party. Nana Komia, who was instrumental in the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign ahead of election 2024, yesterday on a crowd-based radio station, Joy FM, indicated that he does not think it is possible that President Kufuor would not be invited to meetings of said organs. The former President Kufuor is a member of all the party's national decision-making bodies, with the primary organ being the steering committee of the party. He also indicates that per the engagements as he is aware of, the decisions are subsequently reviewed by higher committees. The former president has designated 2 people in his office to receive all official invitations on his behalf. So he does not think that the complaint that he has heard President Kufuor make has to do with his invitations to the meetings of the party. This Professor Samuel Edujemfi is also a political scientist and a lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He had this to say after all of this and the developments involving the former president John Agyekum Kufuor.
Have been producing presidents for us in many respects. They have been governing this country in the Fourth Republic, alternating power between themselves. If we are not careful to think about the NPP in its current form and to say that they need to do what is right, make appropriate consultations and support themselves to ensure that the party is able to produce its kind of leaders who will be cut and fit for purpose in terms of delivering the public good for this country, will end up seeing a moribund party that will not be able to give us viable alternatives. Today, we are talking about former President Kufuor. At least we know the comment he passes out there. It draws our attention to history, his own institutional memory and knowledge, and the fact that he is not, excuse my language, is not in a vegetative state. He is strong, he's active, his knowledge, his mind is alert, and he is available to be consulted. It's not as if he's shown a certain, if you like, cause to suggest that he is not interested in the party or he's not interested in offering his ideas to support the party. It is the fact that there are some political hijackers, insiders within the party, who have chosen to neglect or repudiate knowledge, repudiate institutional memory, repudiate the party's customs, traditions, to repudiate the party's democratic culture and its, if you like, strategies it has deployed historically to consult the elders. The accounts will say, the actions of the current executives suggest that they are not interested in falling or relying on the counsel of key experts within the party, the most experienced ones like former President Kufuor, and more so to rely on the broad-based and the masses notion of mobilizing the people. Now what we see is a top-down approach. It's exactly the reason why I believe that chief actors like the former President Kufuor, who has history, who has experience, and who has knowledge, is being repudiated. Such repudiation in itself is to suggest that those who founded the party, who committed themselves to the cause of the party and have spent time in prison or in jail and have won political power for the party before and contributed immensely to the development of the NPP and Ghana, whose track records are in themselves enviable and reputable to support the cause of the party. Today, if no other person, like a political juggernaut like the former President Kufuor, is complaining, then it re-echoes my position that the current actors of the party severally are not interested in the progress of the party, but are rather interested in satisfying a certain skewed, narrow parochial interest and agenda.
Well, that's Professor Samuel Edujemfi, is a political historian, a senior political science lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Let's stay a bit further on this. Dr. Samuel Afriyie is a political economist joining us right now. Thank you, Dr. Afriyie. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, Alfred.
Now, taking into consideration the number of proposals on the table for tomorrow, we understand 50 of them. Some key persons within the party, some of whom have contested the flag bearership of the party, are making the proposal that that delegate system, that just a few people will gather, and to elect a flag bearer, in their view, should be abolished. Every member of the party who is in good standing should have a vote in terms of determining who would lead the party as the flag bearer. Is it one that is going to augur well for the party, from what you said?
Yes, Alfred. This is for your listeners. You know, the strategy of when we look at the NDC, initially you realize that NDC was not into that direction, but looking at the previous elections in terms of electing their presidential candidate, you realize that they expanded their roots, that is their background, that is going to the lower level. And this has helped the party for a lot of people to be in a participatory mood. If you compare with the NPP is being seen as few people that will come in to elect their parliamentary candidate at the same time presidential candidate. And this kind of system where few delegates are being used to elect these people has not been helpful to their party. It has rather made the party to be seen as for a few. So when it comes to the masses in terms of the political, that is their party, then some members see that if the few elected these people, where we use a lot of monetary and other things to induce them for selfish interest of some individuals, then when it comes to the time for political campaign, you realize that they will sit back. And this has been there for a while. And this has been reducing the vote of the NPP since I think about 2 or 3 terms of electing these parliamentary. And it has been a major problem at their parliamentary candidates, because some MPs or some in quote some parliamentary candidates try to pick people that will vote for them so that they will retain their seat or even come in to so they monopolize the system. And when it comes to the normal circles, in terms of even electing the presidential, you realize that it also have the same kind of system. And then it's hard time they have to change. And I think that for their political space, for them to reorganize themselves and also to reposition themselves, I think expanding their delegate system will be of more beneficial than any other thing that will make the party to be seen as credible.
But then again, also there's this bit about, this chicken and egg situation as to whether this should be done after the proposal to elect the flag bearer of the party on the 31st of January 2026, or before? The likes of Kwame Japan believe that this should be done before. I mean, the reform to expand the Electoral College should be done before the election of the flag bearer, with that proposal of the date of January 31. There are others who also believe that, well, let this stay, elect the flag bearer, and then, this reform can take effect after that. What's your take on this?
Ahmed, I think when reforms, when these changes are made, immediately it has to be implemented. And I think that is what will give a new face for the party. Because you don't expect that the changes, let's assume that tomorrow they will make the change, or they will agree to that kind of having more delegates to being part of their elections in terms of internal elections. And you say that we should wait for presidential elections, that is 31st January. No. The moment the change is made for the interest of the party, they have to start implementing it so that they will elect the parliamentary, the presidential, and also use to elect other executives. You don't expect that you use the old system to elect a presidential candidate and then you use the new system to elect other executives. This will be unfair for internal elections. So once the change is made tomorrow, then the party executives need to implement it immediately so that it can be used for the presidential elections in January 31st. I think that would be best for the party. If not, it will skew the kind of interest and also the parochial interest of individuals. Accusation will continue, and if we are not careful, it will even deepen the kind of internal wranglings and also division within the party. So once change is made, immediately they have to implement. If not, I'm using this caveat, if they don't use it, then any change that they have to make, they have to hold on till they implement everything. You don't be selective in making changes when it didn't fit for your own interest or others' interest.
And I do thank you for your thoughts, as always. Thank you so much, Doc.
My pleasure, Alfred.
Dr. Samuel Efriye is a political economist joining us on this matter with his thoughts. Well, the Director of Communications of the NPP, Sir Richard Ahiagba, has also been talking ahead of tomorrow,
which would include the annual National Delegate Conference, the National Congress, National Council, National Executive Committee, and the National Steering Committee of our party. The annual National Delegate Conference is the supreme governing body of our party. That's the apex of the decision-making body of our party. And according to Article 10(6), the National Annual Delegate Conference shall deliberate and make resolutions on matters such as deliberations on the National Chairman's statement to conference, the report of the General Secretary to conference, the statement of account of the National Treasurer of the party, and any other matter. And in this conference, a very important assignment is before us, which includes very significant exercise to reform our constitution or to amend our constitution. And if you recall, there are, I think, one major amendment outstanding from 2019, I should say, in Kumasi, where we're supposed to have amended the constitution, but that did not happen, and council or conference actually referred it to National Council to deliberate on and submit a proposal. That proposal was submitted to a committee that was created following the submission of the Professor Aaron Michael Quay Committee's report on the election, the 2024 election. That report, which is a package of amendments from the 2029 Annual National Delegate Conference, and proposals resulting from the report of the Michael Quay Committee and other amendments submitted by the party members are part of the bundle of amendments that this conference will consider. So this conference, given the background I've given you, matters flowing from the election 2024, the outstanding amendment from 2019, and the fresh amendments that have been brought are designed to reshape our party, are designed, which amendments, if conference accepts, are designed to re-engineer the path of our party towards rebuilding for a stronger and a more resilient party in the future.
As Richard Young, but he is the Director of Communications for the new Patriotic Party. Now, the police have started reviewing viral footage on the chaos that characterized the Ablekuma North election rerun. Other safety measures have also been instituted to restore calm in Boko as the Santain-led mediation continues. These were the revelations by the leadership of the Parliament's Joint Committees on Defence and Interior, Security and Intelligence after they held a closed-door meeting with the IGP, Defence and Interior Ministers. Let's take a listen to James Agalga, who is the chair of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, who addressed the press earlier today.
State security is taken to restore security and safety along the Waliwali Tamale Highway and the Boko Bazua Highway. Additionally, they responded to the incidents that erupted, the violent incidents that erupted in the course of the conduct of the elections at Ablekuma North. We were particularly interested in knowing what steps are being taken to ensure that those who engaged in acts of violence at Ablekuma North are apprehended and dealt with in accordance with law. The ministers and the IGP gave us the assurance that with respect to the Ablekuma elections, they are reviewing some videos which went viral. And in due course, the perpetrators would be arrested and dealt with in accordance with law. Again, the officer who allegedly assaulted one of your colleagues has been interdicted and is being dealt with.
This is Reverend Tim Fojo, a member of the committee, speaking to the journalists as well.
Disagreement. We have also had discussions with the ministers and the IGP on Ablekuma North rerun violence. All of us have agreed that we have many elections ahead of us. We don't intend to abandon our democracy anytime, and therefore we don't want situations where ballot boxes will be put at polling stations in the future and the citizenry will be afraid to go out to vote because of violence, and to have a trend where the political party that has the most violent people becomes the winner in presidential or parliamentary elections. Democracy is all we have. So fundamentally, the excesses arising out of Ablekuma North elections have been discussed in detail, and specific actions have also been recommended.
The reason, obviously, for this joint committee is because all these matters have a relation between our security. Our national security is important, and of course, one can appreciate the impact of the spillover from Boko on our national security, especially given what's happening along the northern border of Ghana and in the sub-region. And indeed, just as the chair has mentioned, we have been reassured of measures that are being put in place to contain the situation and to restore law and order, alongside the peace pathway that is being set up with Otumfo to restore some kind of law and order, as well as peace, a long-lasting peace in the area.
So live here on Hot Edition, Bismarck Ebusa is standing by with the latest in the world of business after this quick break.
Hello, Ghana. It's a new year